Oh, hey, what's up? So, all right, we have just finished. Let me catch you up on what's happened since the last time we were rolling the camera. It's been over a day that I let the black stain sit on the guitar body, and then what I've got in here, I've put nails, just regular little nails. If you don't have nails, you can have toothpicks or something just to plug in the little screw holes that you're gonna have with the kit for the pre-drilled holes, because you don't want those getting clogged up. They got clogged up earlier whenever I was trying to sand off some of the top layer of stain. So word to the wise there, plug these holes early so that whenever you start sanding, you won't put the little bitty sand grounds down in there. As you can see, the body of this thing now has kind of a nice little ash look to it after sanding back most of that top layer of that black stain. What that's going to do is let the grain really come out really well whenever I start applying this green stain. I've got the neck here as well. What's up, Kaden?
Hello.
Fresh out of the shower. How you doing, buddy?
Hello.
Say hi to everybody.
Hi. Why do we have those drills?
I was just talking about that. That's great. These aren't drills. They're little nails that I've put in there. Because see, there's little holes. We don't want the stuff to fall down there inside there. And Reagan, if you want to bring the camera on in and just take a look right over the top there. Oh, all right. We've got Ninjago here to help us out. But be careful. You don't want to get sand dust all over, or sawdust all over Ninjago there as he's watching us. But no, what I was explaining was, buddy, we don't want dust. Are you paying attention? We don't want dust to get down into these little holes. So I've plugged them. We also don't want stain to get down in there to fill them up, because then when we try to go to put the screws in later, if they're plugged, it's going to be really hard to do that. Now, as I was saying, I've got the neck here with me as well. I plugged up the truss rod hole because we're going to want that to be nice and empty. We don't want that painted over or covered or anything, because it's just going to look weird. But my plan is to put a green stain here on the headstock of the guitar as well. So we want to make sure that that is ready to go and prepared for it. So yeah, I stuffed it with just a little tissue paper there. You can also stuff it with painter's tape. I seem to have misplaced mine, which is a type of thing I often do.
Why do you use that?
This is painter's tape? Okay. I talked about this a little bit in the last video, but I'm putting a mock skunk stripe right there, which is one of the Fender signatures, so I want it to look a little like that. So I have taped off a nice little pretend skunk stripe. And as you'll recall, I showed it earlier at the first part of this video, but here's a picture right here of my Stratocaster and the skunk stripe that's on it, and it's going to match this. So does that make sense to you there, buddy? And what I did, I got some some Varathane wood stain, and it kind of mimics that color that you would see of the skunk stripe. So we're going to put that on this as well. We're actually not going to do the green yet on here. But we will be putting some green over the body of the guitar right now. So as much as I like Ninjago, Ninjago's got to Ninjago out of the way, because we don't want to get him covered with some of this green stain that we made. And just as a refresher, we took some regular green paint. You want to get a shot of it right there, or I can hold it up to the camera. We took that and we paired it with this polyacrylic, which is a clear stain. We put these two together, and that makes a nice, lovely little green stain like we have right here.
What are we going to do with...
We're getting a good shot of Ninjago right now because he's chilling over there on the side. But yeah, so we'll mix those up into this little thing, and as we did before, we just take a nice shop towel.
What are we doing today?
I can recap. We're putting now green stain on top of the black here, and you're going to really see the wood grain pop out since we put that black onto it. Now, last time I poured the black stain onto the guitar body. I don't want to do that this time. Now I'm putting it onto the napkin, and then we're just going to rub that in.
Yeah, that's showing up awesomely. It looks like my hair.
What's that?
I said it looks like my hair.
Looks like your hair. We need a good shot of your hair there, Reagan. You're probably out of focus there. If you want to come back here and just join us for a second, that would work a little better. Now the screen's not showing up too great on the first coat.
And why do they put that pad on the guitar?
Why do they put what?
That pad on the guitar.
That is where the neck is going to go in. And you'll see that once we actually put the guitar together.
Right now.
It'll make a lot more sense once it's all put together. I promise you. Right now it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but that's okay. Also, the important thing when you're applying stain, you just want to keep rubbing. And these nails are actually kind of getting in the way right here. But we will put them back in after we've applied the stain. And they come out a little bit rough because they're a little snug, but that's a good thing. We want them snug. But we had them in there while I was sanding because that served a very good purpose to not clog those holes. So yeah, we are now filling in the light portions of this guitar with the color green.
Daddy,
And that's what's happening here.
clogged.
That one did clog, that's right. And you caught that right as I did. See, we'll take that, plug that hole just a little bit there, and that pulls that stain out of there. So I can see that this is going to take probably a couple of coats of this green stain. All right, so here's a look at what I've done already to this point. I've put some black around the edge. You see this, Caden? You see the black edge there?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Why
what
would you
we've
do
done.
that?
Well, it's going to have, if you remember, we've talked about my Stratocaster, what it looks like. It's got a burst effect where it's orange in the middle and then kind of black on the sides. We're doing the same thing but with green. So it's got a little bit of a hard border right there right now. We'll blend that in a little bit better. And I'll show you how we do that whenever we do the same thing on the front, because the front is still just the green right now.
Peace out.
But if you take a look at the back, there it is. We've got the nice hard border around the side, but it's because I want that black to really pop and stand out. And then we'll do solid black around the complete edges and get that ready as well for the white binding that we're doing on that. The final little thing here, I did put a little green on the headstock there, as you can see. Getting that ready for what will be the final look on that. And then I'll put, of course, the logo on top of that and everything. But the final little thing we're doing here, as I mentioned earlier, in this phase, we're gonna put a little of this wood stain on here. And I've got it very nicely taped off here so that we can mimic that stripe. And we'll take this paintbrush here. I've mixed that stain pretty well. We don't want to drip everywhere. Then we're just going to lightly stain right down that stripe like that. And I've noticed whenever I've looked at this stripe, it is exactly 1/4 of an inch. So that's how wide you want it. And a little trick I did to get that rounded top right there, to get that to look really nice, I took the head of a plastic hanger and was able to shape a little piece of the painter's tape and cut that out of it and then just stick it over there, just line it up nicely. So that's a little hack for that. But that's what we've done here to this point. We'll take a look later on after everything's dried and I'll show you how to attack that front side and get that little burst pattern on it that we're doing. But there's what we've done to this point. Now the neck is starting to take shape along with the body. We're getting that color on the body that we want. Let's see what happens here in a little while.